Here are 3 keynotes for the topic. 6. Beyond Fear, Building a Mindset for Success. 1. Understanding fear as a natural response. Fear is not an enemy, it is a natural signal from the mind. By identifying the difference between real danger and imagined limitations, we can learn to manage fear instead of being controlled by it. 2. Transforming fear into fuel for growth. Success comes when fear is redefined as an opportunity for growth. By facing challenges step by step, fear becomes a motivator that pushes us toward resilience, confidence, and achievement. 3. Cultivating a fearless mindset for long-term success. Developing courage, self-discipline, and positive self-talk builds a fearless mindset. This mindset is not the absence of fear but the ability to act wisely and consistently despite it, paving the way for lasting success. Keynote 1. Understanding fear as a natural response. Fear is one of the most powerful emotions known to humanity. It often appears as an invisible barrier standing between us and our dreams. Yet, when we step back and observe it carefully, we begin to realize that fear is not always the enemy we perceive it to be. Rather, fear is a natural response, a signal from our mind and body designed to keep us safe. The problem arises when fear is misunderstood, exaggerated, or allowed to control our decisions. At its core, fear has a biological purpose. Thousands of years ago, it alerted our ancestors to life-threatening dangers, wild animals, harsh environments, or unfamiliar sounds in the dark. This instinct is still within us, but modern life rarely presents the same physical threats. Instead, we fear failure, rejection, criticism, and uncertainty. These are not life-threatening, but the mind reacts to them as though they were. Understanding this difference is the first step in mastering fear. When you recognize that fear is often a product of imagination rather than reality, it loses some of its power. For example, a student may fear speaking in front of the class, imagining humiliation or failure. Yet the reality is usually far less dramatic. The same applies to professionals who hesitate to take risks in their careers, or entrepreneurs who delay starting a venture because they fear rejection. The scenarios we create in our minds often exaggerate the threat, while in truth, the risk may be small and manageable. Keynote 2. Transforming fear into fuel for growth. Fear, when left unchecked, becomes a wall that blocks progress. But when we learn to channel it, fear transforms into energy, a force that can drive us forward instead of holding us back. The key lies not in eliminating fear but in reshaping the way we respond to it. Think of fear as raw power. Just as fire can burn or provide warmth depending on how it is managed, fear can either destroy potential or ignite growth. The moment we reframe fear from being a stop sign to being a signal for action, it becomes a tool for success. For instance, the nervousness before an exam or a presentation is not weakness, it is the body's way of preparing us to perform at our best. By embracing that energy instead of resisting it, we sharpen our focus and increase our determination. Transforming fear begins with small steps. Facing challenges gradually teaches the mind that fear is survivable. Every time we act in spite of fear, whether it is speaking up in class, sharing an idea at work, or trying something unfamiliar, we weaken its grip. This process builds confidence. And confidence, once developed, creates momentum that carries us toward bigger goals. Another way to convert fear into growth is to treat it as a teacher. Fear points to areas where we need development. If you fear failure, it may mean you need better preparation. If you fear rejection, it may mean you must strengthen your self-belief. Fear highlights the gaps in our skills, attitudes, and mindset, giving us direction for improvement. Ultimately, success does not belong to those who live without fear, but to those who learn to use it as fuel. The most accomplished people are not fearless, they are courageous. Courage is simply the ability to act while feeling fear, to move forward even with uncertainty. By transforming fear into growth, every step taken in discomfort becomes a step closer to strength. Keynote 3. Cultivating a fearless mindset for long-term success. A fearless mindset is not the absence of fear, it is the presence of strength, clarity, and resilience despite fear. Building such a mindset requires deliberate practice, for the human brain is naturally wired to seek comfort and avoid risk. Long-term success, however, belongs to those who train themselves to step outside that comfort zone. Cultivating this mindset begins with self-discipline. Discipline creates stability in moments of doubt, reminding us to act according to our goals rather than our emotions. When fear whispers reasons to quit, discipline provides the courage to continue. Consistency in small actions, studying daily, practicing a skill, or taking calculated risks, trains the mind to respond to fear with focus rather than avoidance. Another powerful tool is positive self-talk. The words we repeat internally shape our perception of challenges. Replacing thoughts like "I can't do this" with "I will find a way" strengthens mental resilience. Over time, the brain begins to see fear not as a threat but as an opportunity to grow. Finally, cultivating courage requires a long-term perspective. Fear thrives on immediate discomfort, but when we view challenges as investments in the future, they lose their sting. Every risk taken, every challenge embraced, becomes part of the foundation of success. A fearless mindset recognizes that setbacks are temporary but the lessons gained are permanent. Such a mindset does not emerge overnight, it is built through repeated exposure to challenges, self-control, and belief in one's ability to adapt. By nurturing these habits, fear loses its ability to dominate, and success becomes not just a possibility but a natural outcome of persistence. Ending. Fear will always walk beside us, but it does not have to lead us. By first understanding fear as a natural response, we strip away its mystery and see it for what it truly is, a signal, not a sentence. By then transforming fear into fuel for growth, we convert hesitation into energy, using every challenge as an opportunity to strengthen ourselves. And finally, by cultivating a fearless mindset, we build a foundation of courage, discipline, and resilience that carries us forward no matter the obstacles. Success is not about living without fear, it is about choosing to rise above it. Each time we act in spite of uncertainty, we prove to ourselves that fear cannot define us. Step by step, decision by decision, we grow into the kind of people who do not wait for courage but create it through action. So, the call is simple: do not run from fear, do not fight it blindly, and do not let it hold you hostage. Instead, face it, learn from it, and use it as a guide. Beyond fear lies growth, and beyond growth lies success. The journey begins the moment you decide that fear will no longer control your path. Achievement starts where fear ends.